And the other day, this came in the post. I'm probably pushing this in front of another job, but the other job is someone I know well, and it's a Rotel 240, which you've all seen before. This has come from our mystery benefactor Alan, and it's a nicely blown up PNI HP6500 as a free gift. And you see, the golden person has not got a fuse in there, and he understands from his little note that it's been reverse polarity at 24 volts with no fuse. And we even got that nice little case. Thank you very much, Alan. So this may be straight in the spares department, but I thought we'd look at it together and either get it working or write it off together. It's come with that, it's come with the mic. I'm not going to attempt to power it up, and the chances are it's going to be dead short. I hope it's dead short, because you know what, if it isn't, then a lot will have been destroyed inside. I'm hoping the reverse polarity protection diode has actually gone short circuit. Oh no, it hasn't. Oh dear. So it's probably blown up the protection diode. This could be the quickest video ever. Now I've no circuits for any of these teeny weeny sets. Perhaps they don't do service manuals because they don't expect you to fix them. And the cost of these sets is lower than the cost of what I'm going to do. We've always got one screw, haven't we, which has got a knackered head. So when we tested these, they worked fine. Right, select camera 1 and zoom. Yeah, well, I don't even know what's supposed to be there. I think what we're going to have to do is see if we can find one of our own sets and see if we can determine what part's blown apart there. Right, well, I can't find our demonstration set, so what I've got is a CRT one. Actually, it's a bit smaller. I thought these were going to be exactly the same board, but I don't think we are. It's going to be show and tell, this, isn't it? Let's open this one up. I bought this off eBay for too much. but they've been messed with. You know, the screwdriver expert trying to get 1,000,000 watts out of them. They are not Phillips screws on that. They are well, there's not supposed to be Phillips on the other either. They are Torx. I used to have some Torx drivers. Oh well, I'll pause the video and go and pinch one off Mr. Chippie. Right, we'll try Mr. Chippie's T8. I'm barking up the wrong tree here because clearly this is a different beast. Well, pretty similar, but it looks like there's more facilities on the PNI one. I'll come back to that. I think we've got to take the board out, you know. It's got some dodgy latching device. So we're going to have a lot of screws down to the chassis. So we'll use our big screwdriver for the big screws. I could do what that non-UK bloke does on YouTube with a wheelbarrow, and I've watched about 3 of his videos. He gets like a zillion views, and he's in some non-UK, non-European country by the looks of things, and he goes off with a wheelbarrow and finds a television set or an amplifier or a radio cassette player in the hedgerows or on the tip or something, all rusted and knackered, and then he restores it. It's obviously going to be fake. He's all clearly he does his polishing and all that in the beginning, and then he takes it all apart and throws it away. Oh dear. One of these was a television set which had an AV capability. So instead of it just having I can't remember whether it was black and white portable, I think it was Samsung type of black and white portable. And for those of you who've been in the teletrade from the late 80s, and he got one, and it's got a audio video socket on the top for, you know, it was presented with phonos for AV, and show you how to fit AV, you see, to one of these sets. So I thought, well, that's interesting, because I wonder how he's achieved that, because normally you're going to need some different type of amplification, and of course access into the appropriate circuits. And I thought, oh, that's clever. And I watched it, and he didn't at all. He presented it initially without this panel in, and then when he'd done his deed, he fitted the panel. You know, it was like he'd taken it out and just plugged it in. Right. So that's what we ought to do. We ought to go out and buy a brand new one, and then I'll go in a wheelbarrow and we'll fetch this, and then I'll pretend to fix it, and swap the board out of a brand new one and go, look, I get brownie points. Yeah. I'm not holding my breath on this. And I think if we do anything, it's going to be part 1, part 2 and part 3. It's weird, like the organ video, isn't it? In 35 parts. And I still really appreciate Alan sending this. So somehow we've got to just remove that loop, which we've now done. And somehow I may have to go and use the big soldering iron. Also provided by Alan. Yeah, well, we haven't managed to get that screen plate off there yet, have we? So I think we'll get a few more screws out first, so it looks like I'm doing something. I think what we've got to do is part the front. Back to the Torx. Don't tell me it's a different Torx for this. Or is it a screw? No, it's a different Torx, isn't it? Oh, well, we'll take some more screws out, which we can do. Then we'll have to take the ribbon cable. People's descriptions on YouTube amaze me. I do enjoy Sony camcorders from a long way back, like the first models in the 80s. I remember I'm in the UK, so we haven't had all the ones they've had in the States. You know, we're a PAL and a different number of hertz and all that. And I spotted one of these early camcorders. Oh, so, no, I go back even further. Can you all remember when there were separate video component systems? So you had a camera, which looked a bit like a movie camera, and then you had on your shoulder a blooming great big video recorder. I've got some of those systems, and got a couple. They're very expensive, and we've actually got a black and white camera, because colour cameras were like £799. We've got a black and white camera which were only like 200 and something pounds. And anyway, I put in Sanyo camcorder, and up came this separate camera. So this goes, remember, you just have a camera, and on the end of it will be something like a 10 or a 12 pin connector, which goes into the socket on the front of the transportable video recorder. So the camera is just a camera, and it has a tube type of pickup tube, Saticom or something like that. The early Grundig VHS full-size camcorders had a tube before CCDs came out. Anyway, they've got this camera with its lead, and which is tethered, and its special 10-pin connector that goes into the front of your Betamax video recorder. And they've got nothing to do with it 12-volt rechargeable battery, which probably was with a transportable video recorder. and they've got this advertised as a camcorder. And you know what? There might be somebody out there who actually buys this thing for, what is it, 35 quid or something like that, or even may even be more, and actually thinks that it's a camcorder, and they get it. And of course, there's no corder in the cam, is there? And the battery is nothing to do with the camera. You know, it's a video camera. Put the model number down, and people searching for that will probably buy it. There's definitely, you know, somebody's going to be interested in that. But I'm not into Betamax. But there you go, you know, wrong description. And we get this so much, don't we, with the CB radios. So I'll have one more go at taking this off, and then we'll have to leave the video for another session. Now, so we need Torx on this side, and we need a heftier soldering iron. I'll use the big one Alan sent to unsolder that screen plate. Right, so we're now, a couple of days later, we're now on Mr. Chippie's bench, because he's been looking at this set, and we don't normally have a power supply on this bench, so we've had to bring that in to do that. This is identical to the one that I use on my bench. These power supplies LED display, because liquid crystal ones I can't see from an angle, so it's safer. So if you look, we've now got this set powered up, and when I keyed it at my hand portable up to that, it's reading a signal. We've not got a speaker on it, but we know it's working. So it's a power supply problem, which is to be expected. But the good news is it hasn't blown up the delicate end of it. Let's just move the camera overhead. So, as I pointed out when I was on my bench, he's cleaned all this up, and there's the diode which was there, the protection diode. Let's just see if we can zoom in. So the protection diode, you'll see it on another set in a moment, is across those two pads there and there, which was short circuit. So what it's done, it's blown away. We think there's a resistor goes across there, which we think is 0 ohms. We're going to verify this, but we haven't got a service manual unless somebody out there has got a circuit. So what I've done, I've gone and bought another set the same, which will be selling on eBay as soon as we've fixed the one from Alan. This is what you have to do when you've got no service manual. So when you look at this, we've got the protection diode there, and we've got this resistor which has cooked off because there's no fuse in the power lead on the one that Alan sent us. It's destroyed the print instead of blowing an ordinary fuse, because people do these stupid things. So I think it's been reverse polarityed and 24 volted, as Alan said in his little note. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to order that diode. In fact, I wonder if we can zoom in even more and see the diode and save my dodgy eyes. No. Now the big camera on my bench will do that. So anyway, there you go. So just to show you once again, let's just put the camera there. I'll power it back up from the power supply, and it's booting up properly, and it is working. But to do this, you know, when you've stripped something like this down, it's all right if you're a hobbyist, but commercially it's not worth it because they're quite a cheap set. But it is worth it when Alan's been so kind as to send it. So what we'll do, we're going to do a part 2 to this video, because I know otherwise it's going to be in the it's not going to happen for ages, is it? Because we're going to have to order that part, and goodness knows where we're going to order that from. When you look at the one which we previously had photograph, you can see that it's a different arrangement down there to what we've got on this set. That's why I had to buy another one in. When it goes to show that the one that's been blown up is kind of a really current variant. So there you go. So just to finish off this video, we're sat here at this particular computer and I'm on the RS web page, and it turns out that what we thought were the 0 ohm resistors are in fact ferrite beads which are surface mount, and I think they're good for 4 amps. I read in the data sheet, so I've had to order a pack of those. And we've also ordered the diode. What was the diode number, Mr. Chippie? No, never mind. Anyway, it's the surface mount diode. We did find it, so that's that. So this is the end of part 1. When these parts come, we'll get it in working, and then we'll do a tune-up on the set. So I hope you enjoyed that so far. Thanks for watching.